We are joined by the best centre-back in grassroots football. Yes, I'm going to repeat that. The best centre-back in grassroots football, quoted by him.
I've not said it in a long time, though, to be fair.
Yeah. But, you know, you haven't said it in a long time. Maybe because you've still got 2 left feet.
So you've definitely been watching my penalty videos then?
Oh, yeah. I might have caught the ball at home. I could keep you just need to sign it now.
I love that. I love
that.
So,
how you been?
I'm all right, Chris. And honestly, thank you so much for inviting me down. And again, I want to give Chris you your flowers now. So how Chris and I met. So I lost my equipment. This was a few years ago.
Oh, this is a story for the ages, eh?
Yeah. So and let's see, Chris. Again, I didn't know you, but you put out like I think it was a GoFundMe, or it was like some sort of crowdfunding page, and I'm like, who's this Chris that's just kind of done this? And honestly, I wouldn't be how far I am now if it wasn't because of you.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's the God's honest truth.
No,
Seriously,
for that. No.
Seriously.
No, I think to be fair, like in any world, if you know someone deserves something, I feel like you have to give credit where credit's due. Like, you're a massive content creator in grassroots game. I think a lot of other channels potentially might not have been created because of you. You know, obviously you do compete with a lot of others, with like, you know, Roots TV and You're Fresh, and they do their thing, you do your thing. But I think it's one big community, and I think altogether, you know, there's no bad blood as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
And it's all just, you know, bringing a community together for football, and you know, doing different things within the football community. To make sure that, you know, people enjoy the shows.
I think, you know, so you can definitely mentioned Roots and You're Fresh. Again, like, we've all grown together. Like, there's no competition. We all have our different lanes, but we can come together when it's right for the scene.
Yeah.
And it's kind of so good just to see not like only You're Fresh and Roots, but there's other content creators now that are kind of emerging, who are kind of now taking, I'd say, the front foot a lot further than how I started as well.
Yeah.
So it's just good to see great content creators like yourself.
Creating. I mean, I wouldn't call me great yet.
Listen,
you give me a bit of time.
Well, you know, I can always say, you know, you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk?
Yeah.
And, you know, I love people that will take action. People can talk until the cows come home, but if you're prepared to make that first step, then you're a winner in my eyes.
Yeah, it's taken me long enough to have my proper first podcast, but we're here, and you know, as AJ Tracy would say, live and direct.
I love that.
The first thing we're going to do, even though we do know each other pretty well, for the viewers at home, we're going to do an icebreaker.
Okay.
It's an interesting one. You might have seen it on TikTok. So I'm going to give you a number of Liverpool players, because I know you're a Liverpool fan, and you have to rank them in top 5. However, you don't know which the next player is going to be. So 1 to 5, and I'll give you a number of players, their previous players and their current players, but you don't know the next one I'm going to give you. So obviously, if you put them somewhere, give me a short reason why they're there. But then obviously it might be a bit hard, because, you know, you might put someone 1 and then another good player comes up, which might just be a bit hard.
Yeah.
So I'll start with quite a very good current Liverpool player, Mo Salah.
Wow. I would rank him number 3.
Okay.
Purely on the basis he's the first player that you've mentioned, and I'm guessing that there's going to be other players who I may like more. But Mo Salah is a record breaker, amazing for like Liverpool, and he deserves everything that he gets. So amazing.
The next player is Ian Rush.
Okay. So I would rank him number, in my personal opinion, because I know he's a Liverpool, he's an icon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're looking for my own personal experiences, I have to put him at number 4.
Okay. Because probably he's not like in your sort of generation.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? So literally, I've got to be honest with myself, but I know he's a Liverpool icon.
Yeah.
Icon.
The next one is Luis Suarez.
Okay.
See, he was a really, really good Premier League player, and it's a shame, he's gone from the Premier League, because it would have been good to see him more, because he was just such a prolific goal scorer.
Yeah.
In a striker, and he had all different goals: headers, left foots, right foots, outside of the box, loads of different goals.
He was probably a complete centre forward. However, of course, his off the field antics definitely tarnishes how I feel about him.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult one. Okay, so if I put Mo Salah third, oh my gosh, okay. So this is where I've already messed up.
See, that's the aim of the game.
The aim of the game. All right, so I'm going to be very controversial here and say fifth.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. The next player is Jamie Carragher.
I had to think about that. I'm like, who's it now? Okay, so you know what? Hey, you know what? Didn't have the, wasn't blessed with ability, but he worked damn hard. And again, he's a centre back, so that's someone that I can appreciate. In the Champions League final against AC Milan, the first time, absolutely immense. I have to put him number 2.
Yeah. Okay. And the last player, and I think you did a video years and years ago on your channel, John Barnes.
Okay, well, okay, you know what? That's cool. John Barnes number 1, yeah, 100%. A left footer, like myself, played on left wing. Of course, the Liverpool rap. I actually do know it off by heart. I'm not gonna do it right now because you put me under pressure. But yeah, amazing dribbler, pace, power, and what he's doing now as well outside of football is absolutely amazing. So yeah.
Sum up, we got John Barnes in first.
Yep.
We got Jamie Carragher in second.
Okay.
We got Mo Salah in third. We've got Ian Rush in fourth, and then Luis Suarez in 5. The other players that I potentially could have brought on was Steven Gerrard, Kenny Dalglish, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I did put Alisson Becker in. I was going to put, I don't know why, because even though I'm not a Liverpool fan, I always thought he was, quite a decent goalkeeper, was Pepe Reina.
Okay.
But I just thought, Alisson Becker, current Liverpool, sort of number 1, would be quite interesting to sort of,
Okay.
So that was part 1, seeing how you are, and then little icebreaker. Just little icebreaker.
I feel comfortable now.
Yeah.
This is an amazing space, honestly.
Shout out to the London Media Lounge.
100%.
Great space to have for our first ever podcast of my journey. It's probably the first time I've actually mentioned what the podcast is called, but you don't have to. It's in the thumbnail. It's in the title. So in the next segment we're going to go on to, it's basically your football journey. The first question I have for you is your first memory of football.
Wow. Okay, my first memory of kicking a ball or just playing.
Just football in general, like whether it's playing, coaching, managing.
Oh wow. Okay, so if we're gonna go way back, and I'm not gonna waffle, I've promised myself that. I think I was about 4 or 5, and I was born in Nottingham, and I remember having one of those flyweight balls, those red flyweight balls, and I remember kicking it against our wall, and I kicked it one time, and the wind took it, and it literally went into our neighbour's garden, and the neighbour's garden had a dog, and the dog went and actually burst the ball.
Wow. I know you had a big toe.
Yeah.
Them flyaway balls, they're if you kick them, they don't go too far. I'm
mate, honestly,
you got it that far.
But it was the wind, it's it's the Midlands, it's a bit windier,
Anything out the M25 is the Midlands.
Yeah. So that was my first memory, and for some reason I really remember that, because again, it was a ball that I wasn't fortunate enough to kind of have, the luxury of having football equipment around me. So having that football represented almost like a kind of getaway.
Yeah. And
I vividly remember that, and I was really, really upset. If you're talking about playing, that is a good question. So it would probably, of course, it would have to be primary school. So from Nottingham, I moved to Leeds when I was around 4 or 5, and our house was in a state called Little London. It's crazy. It was that, it's called Little London, And I went to Little London Primary School. I've got to give it a shout out. And we used to, again, just like play like football as some kids. And I remember the like grassy area had a kind of hill, and like we would practice kicking the ball up the hill for some reason. It was a weird game that we used to play. Yeah. And of course we had mini matches. So
thinking you won the World Cup with the, scoring a winning goal, running around the whole estate, and like
mate, like literally, it was that was kind of all that we had really. And so yeah, I think that was my first in terms of playing football with other people, with other kids. That was again my first memory. Again, if you're looking in terms of competitive football, it would have been middle school. So in Leeds at the time, or maybe it's a generational thing, we had primary, middle school, and high school.
Okay.
So it's probably middle school would have been, I don't even know the ages, maybe from 7 to 12 or 13.
Yeah, it's different these days. Like primary, then secondary, and then
So so literally, I would say at middle school was probably when I got exposed to 11-a-side football. And yeah, again, I was a left winger. I was a lot skinnier and quicker back then. So yeah, I would say that would be my first experience.
Okay. And then what would you say is, like, I know it's probably hard to rank them or whatever, but what would you say is one of your sort of greatest achievements where you can go, wow, like that's an achievement to like, live with when you sort of decide to retire, even though you're semi-retired now anyway?
Oh, thanks. Cheers. Wow. I have a few. And this might sound crazy, but another poignant, I'd say, path that I took, well, my brother and I, and something that I still think about now, is winning a football tournament with my scout team.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, like, so I was actually a Boy Scout, and my brother and I, and again, like, we just loved it, camping, canoeing, again, like, knots, it was a kind of survival thing that we just loved to do. And there was a football tournament in Leeds, and it was with the other scouting fraternities, or whatever you want to call them. It must have been about 10 or 12. And our team wasn't the greatest, but they had my brother and I. And like, we played every team, and we'd win like 1-0 or 2-1. And I remember in the final, we were 1-0 down, and my brother scored to make it 1-1, and then I scored the winning goal. And it was crazy, absolutely crazy. So again, that's an achievement that I will never forget. Again, I would say in my Leeds days, again, I kind of had the pleasure of like playing with the likes of Alan Smith, Gareth Grant, that was at Bradford at the time, and that was, again, like, that was a team that was again organized, energetic, passionate, and again, rubbing shoulders with like people like that was again absolutely amazing.
Just the experience level of them, and then to just play on the same pitch with them, or just talking to them, must have been a different world.
Honestly, it was kind of absolutely amazing. Gosh, again, if we're kind of talking about like recent achievements, of course, winning the Beckenham Cup with LSU and Independent, that was a great achievement. And again, that's vets football. I love winning, and especially trophies.
Yeah.
So again, that kind of passion and that feeling of actually playing your heart out and knowing that your teammates have done the same, it's the best feeling. And again, I don't want to jump from recent now to literally when like I was younger, but on our estate we had the likes of Aaron Lennon, and of course Ashley Burgess was actually there. That was kind of part of the I think he was part of the Leeds Academy as well. We had Aaron Aaron's older brother, Anthony, that was part of the Manchester United Academy. So there was a hotbed of talent. And, we'd always used to play football together. We're like talking from early afternoon until...
You just play football,
late.
just until it gets dark and then the parents call you and then you're running in.
Yeah, honestly, it was just a kind of hotbed of talent. And yeah, honestly, I've had some amazing memories and hopefully they will continue.
That's good. It's good to hear. So the next interesting part I want to get onto, because I did see it on Twitter, and you're probably going to hate me for this, I discovered you now become a football referee. So, if you could briefly tell me, I suppose two things, a two-part question to this is, why now, and as a referee, and then also how you found sort of the course and, the way it was structured and things like that, because if anybody wants to become a referee, it'd be good for them to know kind of the structure and how it works, compared to maybe the old days where you had to do, a longer course compared to how the setup is now.
Yeah. So I decided to take the referee course. Again, I've been in football for a long time, and we can all have our own opinions about referees, from Sunday League to the elite side of the game. Especially now with technology, people will always have their opinion. And I also have a TikTok account, and I'd say most of the conversations are about officials.
Yeah.
Some good, some bad, some indifferent. And as I've been doing a lot of the filming anyway, especially at Sunday League, I've been speaking. I've just been noticing how the officials conduct themselves, and again, it's I can't even imagine how hard it is to officiate a game with no official assistant referees.
He said it right now.
I said it right.
Yeah.
See,
key terminology from the course.
Exactly. Yeah. But not linos or anything. And again, I just felt I was in the right space to actually take the course.
Yeah.
So when I took the course, so it's a 2-day course.
Yeah.
And the first day was practical. Theory. Second day was practical. In a class of 30, and I'll be absolutely transparent here, theory, I was shocking. The knowledge of the game, I know, but the rules of the game is different.
Yeah.
So what I would deem as a foul or like however you want to frame it, the laws of the game, it is a foul. And again, a class of 30, I'd say 24, 25 were under the age of 19. And the person who was next to me was 14 years old.
That's good though. It's good that they open it up so young, because then if they do well in refereeing, then it means that they can sort of progress quite quickly up the pyramid and make sure that they're actually potentially in the Premier League by 25, 26 potentially.
Yeah. But also as well, I would also like to say, so within like the kind of theory side of it, this kind of 14-year-old smoked me. I'm saying like, give me the correct definition of offside. And when I say the correct definition, it was like word for word. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's quoted the law book, but by like sentence by sentence.
Sentence by sentence. Which is again amazing, and exactly what you said before. It's great to see, like the younger generation being interested in officiating. But something that I said on the course on the Wednesday, and literally I'm not afraid to even say it now, is that the examples that we were being shown regarding the presentations and the pictures and the videos were all elite games. So we had the privilege of seeing different angles, different cameras.
Yeah.
And I said to the team leader, I'm like, look, this is amazing. And again, the effort that's gone into this presentation, amazing. However, we are all starting from Sunday League grassroots level. We're not going to have this time to debate and to discuss. Can you give us examples of Sunday League, Saturday League? Because that's what a lot of us are going to be playing.
And there's obviously, as you know, there's a lot of YouTube teams out there now. So the clips are pretty much endless to get throughout the season, whether it's yourself recording or whether it's the teams recording. There's so much like content out there now that it's which we're getting to shortly. But it's crazy how much content in the last sort of 4 or 5 years, how much teams have actually really just picked up a camera and just gone, why not? We can do all this ourselves. Camera Sunday morning, get a tripod, put the camera on there, film a game in 90 minutes, do a bit of editing for a couple hours, and then we can actually get a really good video out there.
So again, I think there's an opportunity for any sort of association to actually look at that, exactly what we said before, get real life examples that people like myself and the younger referees that are going to be dealing with every single week. So that was on a Wednesday. I was absolutely awful. I'll be absolutely, honest. But on the Thursday, it was a practical, so we
outdoors running, doing drills and exercises to sort of,
We actually officiated an academy game, or it was a Wimbledon, and I don't want to misquote any of the teams, but there was a mini tournament happening. I think it was under 14s. So again, that's literally where we used your skills into the practical, and I could see the like young men that excelled in the theory. They looked almost like a deer in headlights when it kind of came to the actual game.
Yeah,
and that's where I felt the older attendees excelled in, because we used common sense, and again we could kind of keep up with play and again just use our authority.
Yeah,
and of course with the younger officials it will come. And again, those academy players are there to impress their coaches. They're not there to argue with the referees. They are like there to kind of, to like try and get scholars. But when it comes to normal games where players are just coming to play and to come in to win, I wonder how many of those referees have the kind of stature and can literally have the aura to like command 22 players plus supporters as well.
Yeah, and I would say, because I've obviously experienced what them courses are like, where I've helped out for the day, whatever, I think the courses can be, for anybody who is doing a practical, they can be quite intense. So when you actually do go and referee, it is a different playing field, but it's not as intense, because sometimes the courses, just because people maybe get too excited, and sometimes it depends on what you're doing for the practical. In this sense, obviously you guys had the opportunity to go down and referee kind of a tournament-based thing. Sometimes it's just a bunch of referees who have to come down and sort of help support the course. And sometimes, and I'm not going to name names, but sometimes
name names.
Sometimes it does get a bit silly, because obviously where they're referees and they kind of they're messing about, and then it gets a little bit silly. But I think people then just calm down eventually, and referees do okay.
So regarding the practical day, so I refereed part of one game, and then I got chosen to actually do the first half in the final. So refereeing like the first game was pretty easy. Well, it wasn't easy. Again, I have to use my authority and kind of use my common sense, and of course being in the right position. But the final, of course, those two teams were playing for something. So literally it was a lot more niggly, and everyone's watching as well. Plus you had the parents. So already I felt under pressure. Yeah. And again, I'm thinking, wow, like if I'm feeling under pressure and this is an under 14s game, when I'm doing an open age or a vets team, where like a team is either fighting for promotion or relegation, when there's points on the line, like I've always said, not a lie, I've not always said, I said it again in the course, the referee at the beginning of the game is public enemy number one.
Yeah.
He or she isn't liked by either opponent and fans.
Yeah.
So I think the objective is to make sure that you as a referee disappear and make sure that the game goes as smoothly as possible.
Yeah.
And use your common sense, because there are some challenges and there's some things where in the laws of the game, it's a yellow or possibly a red. But now I've seen how certain officials on a Saturday and Sunday referee, that don't give out their cards, which for me is common sense.
Yeah, I think I obviously I'm a football referee myself. I think there's two ways you can look at it. Is I think what you feel like the game expects and what the game feels like it should expect. And as if you do referee and you do quite a few games, you'll notice very quickly what you feel like is a yellow, but then you kind of look around. I know people will probably tell me off for this. Player reaction is quite important, and other things in the context of the game. You know, if the teams lose, if it's a Saturday afternoon and or Sunday morning, and the team's losing 6-0 with 2 minutes to go, and someone has a kind of maybe a reckless challenge, and they're already losing 6-0. If the teams are not really saying much, you could just get on with it. 2 minutes to go, just play the game. And then I'm sure it's fine. Obviously, if it is a bad challenge and it constitutes to yellow or potentially red, then obviously you have to do your refereeing. But I think sometimes it's about reading the game, and it is a really, really hard skill. But I think the more times you referee, it gets easier. And then obviously the context of the game, depending on what level you referee at and stuff like that. Sometimes, not saying you should, but sometimes on a Sunday morning you can get away with a few things. You might miss a caution in your head and you've missed that caution, but does the game expect it? No, because it's just not needed. Teams get on with it. They say, oh, maybe one or two players question you, but potentially, you just get on with the game, and then, maybe at the end of the season you see how bad you did because your club marks come out, and then you're like, oh, actually in that game I actually did miss three yellows or something like that.
And hey, I'm not going to say that I'm available for Southern Sunday. I know Mark, I love Mark to bits. I have your number, and if you're watching this, hey, I am available for hire.
The referee shortage across not just Sunday League football is an interesting one. But there is things you can do. I'm not saying you can't do things to improve referee shortage, but it's just impossible. Like, there's only so many referee tutors out there. There's so many times you can put on a course, and then also the retention of them referees once they pass the course and they go and referee them games. Some of them can only do youth because they're under 16, so they can't do an open age game. And then some just fall off because they do the course, enjoy it for a bit, and then just don't like it. It's one of those things, and I think someone out there somewhere, whether it's a club secretary, whether it's a referee, whether it's someone from a county FA, I think one day we're going to sit down and someone's just going to have the magic answer, and hopefully we can just be like, oh, this is how we sort out referee shortage some way or the other, because it's not great, but certain games go uncovered, some games get referees, it's just one of those things. So the next part I want to talk to you about is obviously you've been quite a content creator, YouTuber for quite a few years.
Yeah. YouTuber.
I know, YouTuber, content creator,
influencer.
So how do you feel it's going, and everything going with the channel and the sort of the live streams every Sunday and things like that?
Yeah. You know what? Again, I literally enjoy what I do. Do I think I could be putting out more content? Yes. Should I be spending more time with friends and family? Yes. But yeah, no, I'm literally enjoying the journey, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't know. On my WhatsApp message, like the slogan is to enjoy the journey. Yeah. Because you have to enjoy the journey of content creating. You have to enjoy the journey of whatever that you're going through. And again, yeah, as you've said it before, I've been doing, well, in terms of the amateur football platform, for 6 years. Yeah. I've been doing media for over 2 decades. And
because you had the previous sort of content creating business, didn't you, on YouTube as well?
Yes. So I've had TC Weddings, I've had Victor Rose, I've had a lot of failed businesses, failed channels, but again, every single failure is a lesson. It's a
success and it's a lesson, Kurt.
Honestly.
Like you said enjoy the journey. I would say, I like a saying of trust the process. Yeah. And sometimes like the processes can be quite hard, and you might think you're going nowhere, but sometimes you make one video and I know it's the whole old cliche saying you make one video and it just completely blows up, but sometimes you get the right person on the podcast, you get the right sort of edit graphics, whatever. You might get a phone call and then it brings work for you to, you know, do some editing for someone and then getting the right price. So it is, you know, it's enjoying the journey, trusting the process, and I think eventually, you know, things do happen. You know, it's a hard one because it's the question of how much time and effort do you put in it without the results, and then also how much money are you prepared to put into it, because even though people will say, you know, and you'll probably disagree with me here, even though, you know, you could get a phone and you can start recording, I think there has to be some form of like money put into the sort of YouTube or the content creating, because I think...
I do disagree.
See, I knew he was going to disagree, I do. I mean, it's hard because I feel like, I'm not saying loads and loads of money, but I'm just saying, you know, just, you know, you can buy like a little light, you know, like little microphone, and it just upgrades your sort of content creating a little bit to make it eye-catching, compared to if someone just had a phone. I know people are like, oh, the phones are the greatest these days, but I just feel like just that little bit of equipment can potentially just get it from sort of a 7 to a 10.
It's all about your content. It's all about what you're saying. You know, I've like listened to an hour's worth of content and it appeals to me and I am transfixed on the screen, and visually it's not pleasing to the eye. And there's content which is 4 or 5 minutes long and it's again shot amazing, everything cool, but it doesn't appeal to me. So why am I going to watch it? It all comes down to literally what you're saying, and also being clear in terms of your niche, depending on where you're watching this. And again, even like that, we can have a huge debate about. At the beginning, should you be niching down, or should you just be exploring content and actually being able to film?
Yeah.
If you can look at, again, Mr. Beast's first videos, if you're looking at Marcus Brownlee's first videos, they were like using the camera from their laptops.
Yeah.
Again, like, you know, but see what they were doing, they were appealing to their audience and people were watching. Of course, yeah, eventually you like want to upgrade and to kind of have a better viewing experience for your audience. Yeah, I mean, again, like I've kind of you know leveled up in terms of my equipment 100%. That's kind of something that everyone should aspire to do, but make sure, for me, the content that you're putting out is authentic and true to yourself. And you know, when you kind of feel that there's a wobble in terms of, oh, you know what, I'm not getting the views that I deserve.
Yeah. If
you get 1 view, it's a success.
Yeah.
2 views, it's a success, because you just need, okay, so all right, an example of when I like used to do a lot more social media content on my Victor Rose page. There was a video, I can't remember what it was called, what I titled it. It was like how to film a business promo or something like that. And I kid you not, it's probably got less than 100 views.
Yeah.
But one of those views, someone commented and said, "Oh, I'd love to hire you out." It's actually in my comments.
Yeah.
And
it probably goes back to the comment I made. Sometimes it only takes one.
It takes
one person, 2 people. I know it would be great to get 100,000 views.
Yeah.
But they could just be very random people who just
Honestly,
like watching YouTube.
Yeah.
But it only would take 1 or 2 people who could be other content creators, could be a vlogger, whatever, and they just come to you, or it could be a business.
Yeah.
And they just be like, "Oh, we love your video.
Yeah.
We want you to come and edit or come to film for us. We pay you X amount of whatever."
Yeah.
And then it just makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference. And you know, and again, I kind of traveled to like Birmingham, and again, hey, wow, like this is a video that I made. It's got less than 100 views. And if you kind of talked about my recent stuff now, you know, I'm kind of doing documentaries now. I'm kind of speaking to like different people from a kind of different network, even though like it's still football related, but I am also spreading my wings even on the platform now. The platform's changed dramatically from when I started, and the opportunities that I'm kind of getting now, I mean, the crazy again, like speaking gigs I'm actually getting now. I'm kind of getting opportunities to actually do more documentaries, more paid collaborations. Again, speaking to people that are on this, like the same journeys, and are at different levels where I'm aspiring to actually get to. So again, these conversations can only happen if you're authentic with your message, because those people have watched a video or two of mine and said, you know what, I relate to this person because he's speaking to such and such, and there's the common ground there.
Yeah.
You know, if you're very scattergun, which is cool at the beginning, but again, if you're, for me, not authentic, you know, in your heart, and again, everyone knows when they're doing certain things for the views or because it's a trending topic and, you know, you are acting a certain way. Everyone has gone through that, even myself. But when you're truly authentic with your message, special things will just start happening.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. And hopefully for you, that you can enjoy the journey and hopefully more things like you said. So I just want to thank you very much for coming on the podcast. So just to end on the podcast, any sort of big plans coming up in 2024 or anything you can sort of tell us without sort of breaking any NDAs or any contract agreements?
NDAs, I don't do NDAs. No, you know, it's probably going to be more of the same content, doing a lot more speaking gigs, getting more people of football influence and influence in business and marketing on the channel, and again, just kind of doing a few events, and again, just enjoying the journey. And again, I just want to say that what like people see on the screen is maybe an hour of a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. I have suffered from like burnout. I have like suffered from like moments of thinking, am I doing the right thing? I'm tired. I don't want to carry on, etc., etc. It's you know, very it can be a very volatile industry, and very fickle as well.
Yeah.
You know, like you want the views, you want the engagement, you want to hang around with the like people within your peer network, but sometimes it doesn't happen. It can be a very lonely career, hobby, however you want to take it. Again, just enjoy every single day and just enjoy creating content. If it's short form, long form, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, whatever your platform is, just enjoy doing it. And again, that's what kind of I'm like doing every single day. And again, I just want to again thank Chris for allowing me to speak, because I don't get this privilege anywhere else at home or even with my friendship group. So it's great to be uninterrupted for the first time in a long time.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for everybody watching. This is my journey, and I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.